They are building an army of unprecedented size. The Bible called them the kings of the East, and today, China is making moves that perfectly align with this end times prophecy. In the book of Revelation, as the final judgments of God are being poured out on the earth, a specific and mysterious military force is mentioned. In chapter 16, during the sixth bowl judgment, the great Euphrates River is dried up for one purpose: to prepare the way for the kings from the east. Later, in chapter 9, John describes a vision of a demonic army from the east, numbering an almost unbelievable 200 million soldiers. For most of history, the idea of an army of that size, let alone one marching from the east toward the Middle East, seemed like a symbolic fantasy. No nation had the population or the logistical capability to field such a force. But in the 21st century, one nation has emerged that fits this description with startling accuracy: China. As China's economic, political, and military power grows at an exponential rate, its geopolitical ambitions are beginning to perfectly align with the role of the kings of the East in the final battle of Armageddon. The sound of millions of boots marching in perfect unison, a human tide of military might, is no longer a symbolic image but a demographic and strategic reality. The first and most obvious connection is the sheer demographic power of China. The 200 million man army described in Revelation 9 was an impossible number for any nation in history until the 20th century. Today, China's standing army, the People's Liberation Army, is the largest active military force in the world, with over 2 million soldiers. And its reserve and paramilitary forces number in the many millions more. China is the only nation on Earth with the manpower to field a 200 million person army if it were to fully mobilize for war. The demographic prerequisite for this prophecy is now, for the first time in history, a reality. But manpower is not enough. To move an army of that size from the Far East to the Middle East requires a massive logistical capability. This is where China's modern ambitions come into play. China has launched the most ambitious infrastructure project in human history, the Belt and Road Initiative. According to analyses from geopolitical think tanks like the Brookings Institution, this initiative is a multi-trillion-dollar plan to create a modern Silk Road, a network of highways, railways, and ports connecting China to the Middle East, Africa, and Europe. While its stated purpose is economic, its military implications are undeniable. China is building the very roads and infrastructure that would be necessary to move a massive army and its equipment across the Asian continent, straight toward the Euphrates River and the doorstep of Israel. The way for the kings of the East is literally being paved before our eyes. The ancient prophecy spoke of preparing a way, and modern China is spending trillions of dollars to do just that. You can hear the roar of heavy machinery, the sound of mountains being moved and valleys being filled, as a new road to Armageddon is constructed. The prophecy also provides a geographical marker: the Great Euphrates River. Revelation 16:12 states that this river will be dried up to allow these armies to cross. The Euphrates is one of the most significant rivers in the world, flowing from Turkey through Syria and Iraq. Today, due to a combination of climate change and extensive dam-building projects by Turkey, the Euphrates River is, in fact, drying up. Satellite images and reports from sources like Al Monitor have documented the alarming drop in the river's water levels, threatening the livelihood of millions. This is not a future symbolic event. It is a current, literal reality. The geographic obstacle mentioned in the prophecy is being removed. What could possibly motivate China to march on the Middle East? The answer is resources. China is the world's largest importer of oil, and the Middle East is home to the world's largest oil reserves. As China's economic and military machine grows, its thirst for energy is insatiable. Any threat to the stability of the Middle East or its access to these resources would be a threat to China's national security. Furthermore, China is forging closer alliances with other nations that are hostile to Israel and the West, particularly Russia and Iran. This emerging Eurasian power bloc sees the world in a multipolar framework and is actively working to diminish American influence. A final great conflict in the Middle East, the Battle of Armageddon, is described as a global conflict where all the nations of the world are gathered. The kings of the East are a key component of this final confrontation. Their march to the Middle East is one of the last great troop movements before the return of Jesus Christ. China's rise is not just another geopolitical story. Its demographic size, its logistical Belt and Road project, its strategic alliances, and its thirst for Middle Eastern resources all point to its potential role as the leader of the kings of the East. The prophecy of a 200 million man army is no longer an abstract number but a terrifying possibility. We are witnessing the rise of a superpower whose trajectory is aligning perfectly with a 2,000-year-old prophecy. The stage is being set, the actors are taking their places, and the path for the final battle is being prepared. If this analysis of geopolitics and prophecy has shown you how close we might be to the end, subscribe to our channel. The Eastern horizon is darkening, and you need to know what it means.